This is marking the start of a brand new prep, a brand new build towards the Twin Cities Fall Marathon. Just for a quick recap, I finished Grandma's Marathon. It was really my first time training substantially 3 or 4 months for a marathon and then going out and racing. So I did Grandma's Marathon about 2 weeks ago at this point. I finished at a time of 3:33:56. So yeah, just under 3:34, 3:30, very close to a 3:30 marathon. It's a 30-minute PR over my last race. At the same time, I ended up being quite disappointed by the result. Yeah, I just, you just learn with every race and you get smarter and you learn about life. And one thing I learned both about racing and about life is that achieving goals, achieving ambitious goals is just hard as fuck. It's so fucking hard. On the internet, there's goals that a lot of people would kind of like roll their eyes at now. Like, oh yeah, of course, you know, like I want to make $100,000 a year, making a 6-figure salary per year. People, you know, these days would take that sort of for granted, or it's like, oh yeah, that's a very easy to achieve goal. It's a very easy to achieve ambition. I want to save $20,000. I want to put 30K in the bank over the course of a year by saving like $1,000 or $2,000 a month. Whereas in fact, the chaos of life and the kind of like the struggle of getting things right and taking something all the way, especially over a 4-month block, it's very hard. Things go wrong all the time. 4 months is too long of a time period for stuff to not go wrong. And so even though I made insane progress with my marathon training these last 4 months, and I did a great race, you know, even with the time of 3:34, I'm probably in the top 15% of all marathon runners, you know, like globally. It's like, it wasn't what I set out to do that day. I was probably aiming more for like a 3:25, but it's just that, you know, the week prior leading up to the race, I didn't sleep as well. There was some stress around even the commute to Duluth. And so going into these next 13 weeks, into this next block, I feel very humble. I feel more humble than I ever have. It's kind of weird to say that you feel humble. But I feel like the universe is like, listen, bitch, you can't just set these big goals and expect to hit them every time and just like, things aren't always gonna work out for you. I really feel as if I'm not that special and I should put myself in a position in life where I work extraordinarily hard and even then it might not happen. And that's what Grandma's taught me. So in this video, I want to cover 3 lessons that I learned from racing Grandma's Marathon, and then basically my 5-part strategy for how I'm approaching the next 12 weeks. We only have 12 weeks, 3 months, until the Twin Cities Marathon. And so this video is just going to be a long chat with anyone who wants to watch when it comes to marathon training and really pursuing your life's work. So the first thing I learned from Grandma's Marathon is that you get the race you deserve from your training. And that goes for everything in life. There's a calculator called calculator. Based on how you race in a certain time, it tells you how well you should do in another race. So 3 weeks out from Grandma's, I did a half marathon and I did it in around 1 hour, 37 minutes, just under that. That's 7 minutes, 22 seconds per mile. According to the calculator, that should map out to around a 7:40 pace for the full marathon. That would be a 3:21. And because I was like, oh, I'm so close to a 3:21, you know what? I might as well set the goal for sub 3:20 the race day. You know why? Because I'm going to get a boost on race day. Things are going to go so well. Like 3:20 is, you know, on the internet, so many people now are running sub 3-hour marathons. Casey Neistat, you know, a few months ago put out this epic video about running a sub 3-hour marathon and how it was like a long pursuit in his life to get to sub 3 hours. And now you have people, you know, all over the internet, all over YouTube, breaking sub 3 hours, breaking sub 250. And in my mind, because I had been seeing all this stuff as a reference, I was like, okay, sub 3 hours, I guess that's like the new norm. So my goal here will be sub 3:20. You know, we're going to get like a 3:19. What did that mean? It means I started running Grandma's Marathon. I was feeling kind of off that morning, but I started off running 7:27s per mile, 7:23. And I was telling my videographer Anuj this some weeks ago. In a marathon, it's kind of like playing poker or playing blackjack. You can never know how close you'll get to like a 21 until you're about to bust. So if you run the race too fast, you run the race too hot, you'll only know that you overextended because you're going to blow up at mile 21. And that's what happened to me. I ran the first 21 miles at around 7:42 pace with several splits at 7:27. And then I had to walk half a mile. It completely crushed my confidence. I had a 10-minute mile at around mile 22. And then after walking for a mile, you know, it was also raining. on me pretty hard. The conditions of the race weren't ideal in that way because it was like raining on us. Psychologically, it was very like stressful. Somehow I mustered the strength to start running again. So I've like closed out the last 4 miles of the race, like not even knowing what was going on. My watch was dead. My phone kept like shutting off because of the rain. So I was like, I don't know how fast I'm running, but somehow I think I was pulling off like 8:30s. And that's how I like pulled together a semi-decent time. But you don't know if you're overextending yourself until mile 21. But if you played conservative, you also won't know how much you left in the tank. But I realized you need to account for chaos. So if a sub 320 marathon would be 7:38 per mile, I should have been running 7:50s clean. I should have been conservative. And for better or worse, what that race taught me is that you have to assume things will go wrong. So you take you at your best, you at what you've done, what you've progressed, you go as hard as fuck as you can in the training. And then when it comes down to execution, or when it comes down to what you think you're gonna achieve in that time block, in those 3 or 4 months, you actually have to pull back a little bit and be like, what if chaos happens? What if chaos? What can I pull off if chaos is involved? So that's the first lesson I learned, is that you get the race you deserve in training. The second idea I learned is that you will pay the price for overextending yourself. You'll pay the price for any kind of hubris or any kind of arrogance. It's better actually then to run the race that you know you can do. That goes for so many things in life. You should do the thing you know you can do. Even recently, a friend of mine, he came over and he visited. He's an old actor friend of mine. And it's been interesting to talk to him because I've been working on this short film project over the start of the first half of the summer, and I had to put it on hold because we ran out of money. So I was talking to him and he's like, I'm not sure where to take my career. I was telling him about starting this new channel, starting this new series. He says, Nikhil, I think your marathon series would be really would be really amazing. I think you should try to sell it. He's like, this could be like your new like Anthony Bourdain show where you like tell the story of a city while doing marathons in different cities. I was like, that sounds incredible, but I just don't think I can set a goal that big right now. Like I've suffered too much heartbreak creatively and in my career. I just don't think something that ambitious is possible for me right now. So instead, he's like, what is the right way to go about things? I'm like, I think the key to a good life is set a goal that you know you can achieve that still excites you. You need to find a way to get excited about your life, and you need to set the goal that you can achieve. Race the race you know you can do. Third idea in this then is the most hopeful of the three, because I feel like my descriptions around grandmas has been very negative. But the third idea here is it's not about one block. It's not about any one season of your life. It's about stacking blocks. If I think back to the first time I ever ran a marathon, which was in the fall of 2022, I was 29 years old, and I ran that damn race in over 5 hours, okay? I fucking fell apart during that race so hard. There was so much about me back then that I have a deeper awareness of now. I was basically just deadlifting 4 plates all the time. I was probably like 23% body fat. Probably like 20% body fat actually. So even though I had been a year into serious training, I wasn't that like lean or fit, and I knew nothing about running long distances really. I just started getting into it kind of like from a hobby level. I like ran a sub 6-minute mile for the first time that summer. It was nothing like it is now. And yet, since that first race, the following year, I ran Twin Cities again. I actually ran it like self-regulated because the official race got canceled. So I ran that second time a year later in 4 hours 30. Then I ran Arizona in 4:03. And now this is my 4th race that I finished at 3:34. So I've gotten basically 30 minutes faster every single race. It's just that I started off at 5 hours, Like even grandpas, like even 80-year-old grandpas run that marathon faster than 5 hours. So I really fell apart. But you know what? Now I'm here. I'm like definitely a top 20% runner, top 15% runner. And you can be damn sure I'm going to get faster by the fall and then faster by next year for sure. My goal is to obliterate and murder Sahil Bloom. He's like this Indian Canadian. He's some kind of Indian guy with an American accent. He's basically like a slightly better version of me in every single way. I fucking hate him, okay? He doesn't even know who I am. I want to literally obliterate him. And the only way to do that is to make him witness how much better I am than him. So it's gonna be a journey ahead to do that. He's training for a sub 250 right now, that fucker. So we gotta push harder. We gotta keep going. So it's not about any one block. It's about stacking blocks. You can be a failure in the last 4 months, okay? You can perceive yourself as a failure. And then you can feel like a failure ahead 4 months from now. And then you can have a third season of your life and you're like, fuck, dude, I'm still not, like, it's been 12 months and things haven't changed that much. But eventually, if you just keep trying to improve and keep trying to grow, you get to a point where it's like, damn, I got better. I'm not so miserable and I'm not so useless anymore. Life is a game of endurance. Through endurance, we conquer. And so it's not about any one block, and that goes for anything in your life, okay? If you're stuck in any way, give it 4 months. Are you still broke? Are you still like out of shape? That's fine. Put in another 4 months, bro. You'll get there. This brings me to the next leg of what I want to discuss here, which is the fall build. What is my goal? What is my goal time? And how am I approaching things? So the goal time I'm going for right now is sub 3:10. I wish I could tell you I'm going for sub 3, but damn, that just feels so fast. Sub 3, that's like 6 minutes, 50 seconds per mile. I want to be a part of that club, man. I want to be a part of that sub 3 club. But considering how I fell apart at Grandma's and I set a time of 3:34, I don't deserve to set a goal of sub 3. It breaks my heart to say that. Had I gotten a 3:25 at Grandma's, I would be going for sub 3 right now. But I don't deserve to set that as a goal because I didn't prove it to myself in the last block. I need to set a reasonable yet ambitious goal. So the goal here is sub 3:10. You know, if I got 3 hours and 7 minutes, that would be sick. And there's a few things I'm changing up in these next 12 weeks to make that happen. So first is speed work. I am doubling up on the speed work and I'm going to the track more often, you know, at least one time a week, but maybe even twice a week. Yesterday, I did 400 meter repeats for the first time. Now they say 400 meter repeats, they don't translate that well over to the marathon because 400 meters is such a short distance. But I realized that in the summer, July heat, and the fact that like track workouts, they really take it out of you. To do a 400 meter repeat, it feels very inspiring in a way. It feels like, okay, I only have to get around that track once. So yesterday I did 10 400 meter repeats at 129 each, which is pretty decent for me. So I'm doubling up on the track work. We're doing speed work all the time. Number 2, and I know everyone says this, but basically every day that I'm not doing like a tempo run or like intervals on the track, I'm doing easy runs. And that's something that I didn't really do in this last block. I didn't really do easy runs that much because they're fucking boring, bro. You know, like I don't want to run easy. I want to like literally obliterate my soul and set my heart on fire and just like feel like I'm dying. And then I felt like I actually, damn, at least I did something with my day. So in this last block, I would literally I probably did like 5 20-mile runs on this last block, which is way more than usual. And I ran every single one of them like 10 to 20 seconds faster every single time. My fastest one being like 7:50 for 20 miles. And then I did 7:45 for 18 miles. So like I was getting pretty fast by the end. But I know that if I'm gonna like ramp up the speed even more, I gotta hit that long run. I gotta hit those like workouts super fresh. And that means I need to do more easy runs. To fuel additional recovery, I've been going back to this ice bath sauna club. So that's idea number 3. I've been going to Embrace North. I think it's fucking annoying, okay? Anyone who spends too much time in the ice bath and like they put up Instagram stories of their ice bath and their sauna, I'm just like, just kill yourself. Shut the fuck up, okay? I get it, you're in the ice bath. Just do something. We're already running marathons, you know? Like, do something else with your life. Don't show me the story of the ice bath, bro. Okay? But damn, if you put your feet in the ice bath, your feet get healthy faster, you know? You start to feel better faster. So, yeah, I'll be doing that to basically fuel additional recovery. And the last leg here is that I have a coach. Signed up for coaching with Eric Floberg, one of my favorite YouTubers right now, and like someone I really look up to. In fact, he got me into this whole mess, him and Nick Bear. Fuck those guys. And, I'm paying both of them money, you know? Like I buy Nick Bear's gels and I'm paying Eric for coaching. But Eric is a very inspiring person and he just launched his group coaching, like kind of mentorship program that he houses on Patreon, and then he puts his actual training on this app, Training Peaks. So I have a coach now. I always found that if you're trying to get like extraordinary results from your life and you're trying to get to that next level, then it's best to find someone who's done what you want to do and then just be very humble and just try to be a student of the craft. And so that's what we're doing this next blocks. 12 weeks ahead, 12 weeks, 12 videos, one wonders, you know? One wonders. Consistency with the second channel is something I would very much like to do, because the truth is I'd love to be one of those running channels like a year from now. And so if that were to happen, then we got to make this right now. I probably should clean up my language in that case if I really want to take this seriously. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll be like the degenerate in the running club because everyone else is very they're almost like too sweet, you know? There's no brigands in the crew. And so yeah, Twin Cities Marathon, 12 weeks ahead. Greatness is coming. I hope you got some value out of this one. And listen, no matter what you're doing in life, just dedicate yourself for the next 4 months to the next block. Don't judge yourself. Whatever your goal you're chasing, just dedicate yourself. Put in another 4 months before you judge yourself. And let's see what happens. Anyway, greatness is coming. We'll catch you in the next vid.